Today marks 12 years since the 2001 terror attacks, and it's been 1 year since the assault on the U.S. diplomatic post in Benghazi, Libya. 4 Americans were killed, including Ambassador Chris Stevens. Ali Soufan is a former FBI agent. He just wrote a comprehensive new report on the global terror threat. Also with us, senior correspondent John Miller, former FBI assistant director. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we talk about your report, let's just talk about what you have discovered about a guy named the Uncatchable.
Well, Mokhtar Belmokhtar is the one-eyed terrorist who made his money smuggling people, cigarettes, and other contraband, but also doing kidnappings. He ran the attack on the gas plant where the U.S. hostages you interviewed several months ago actually escaped alive, but scores were killed. And releasing this tape today is planting a flag literally in the sand and saying, we're al-Qaeda, we're back, and we're operating.
Why did everybody think he was dead, John?
Well, he's been dead before, Gail.
Oh, okay.
He's been reported dead and then found alive and reported dead and found alive. And with his last reported death, you know, my conversations with the intelligence community, they said, not so fast, let's wait. But I defer that to Ali because he knows the player in the region.
I think it's important to... first of all, for the tape to be released on 9/11, on the 12th anniversary of 9/11.
No accident.
Absolutely not. Second, if you watch the tape, you will see that there is now connections between the different affiliates of Al-Qaeda. The tape starts with a message from Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and the message from Zawahiri. The third element of this tape that makes it interesting, that shows that there is significant divisions between the affiliates. Mokhtar Belmokhtar is now basically breaking up with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb and starting his own thing. And we see the same thing in Syria with the Nusra and the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria.
But do you think Al-Qaeda is stronger now than ever before?
Well, it depends. Yes, the affiliates are stronger. The organization that attacked us on 9/11, it doesn't exist really anymore. However, the narrative haven't been targeted, and that narrative spreads from West Africa to Southeast Asia. And that narrative today is basically the center of gravity of the organization of Al-Qaeda. So, after 9/11, they shifted from being chief operator to being chief motivator.
So if the organization has become less of an organization and more of a network, it's 12 years after 9/11.
Sure.
Why, as the U.S. government or as the world collective of the West, have we not been able to find a counter-narrative that is compelling as the tapes and things people are finding on the Internet and launching attacks over?
Well, this is what we tried to do with our report, and the report was done through the Qatar International Academy for Security Studies, and we went through so many different regions and continents, and we found out that people now realize that we need to counter the narrative, and we need to counter the narrative on the Internet, using social media, work with our allies in providing other entities on the Internet that can provide a counter narrative for Al-Qaeda's propaganda.
You talked about Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, what's going on in Syria. What about the homegrown threat? How serious is that, John?
That is a direct product of what we were just talking about, which is there are 50 attacks targeting the U.S. or targets on U.S. soil since 9/11 over these last 12 years. The last couple of dozen that I've studied in detail all come back to the same place, and include the Boston Marathon bombing in this. Right. I watched the videos of Anwar al-Awlaki, and that's what inspired me to do this. And that's what I meant by this powerful narrative. Where is our counter spokesman who has the same charisma and the same force? It can't be a government person. I'm wondering, in the conference you just did anyone say, here is the map to how to do that?
Well, it has to differ from one area to another and from one region to another, because there's no cookie-cutter approach. And Al-Qaeda always prey on local grievances for recruitment. I interviewed dozens and dozens of Qaeda members, and I don't remember that 2 of them joined the group for the same reason. So we need to focus on these local issues.
So there need to be a lot of counter-narratives and narratives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to go back to the point about the homegrown, this is probably the most dangerous thing that faces today in the West and in the United States because of the individualistic nature of the threat.
All right, Ali Soufan, we thank you. John Miller, always good to see you.